Good morning friends, welcome back to Parnika tutorials. In the last video, I have discussed about functions in detail. I hope you have watched that video. If you did not watch that video or if you don't know the concepts such as function declaration, function definition, I request you to go back and watch that video and come back to this video. In this video, I want to discuss about various categories of function based on the argument and return statement. So I request everyone to watch the complete video for better understanding. The functions are broadly classified into four types based on the arguments and return value. Let me write each one, then I will discuss each one with an example. Okay, so they are classified into four types based on the argument and return value. The first one is with arguments, the function with arguments and return value. Return value means with the return value, or you can say that return value is there. So a function with arguments and with the return value. Okay, with arguments and without return value. And third category is without arguments and with the return value. And fourth one is that without arguments, okay, and without return value. This is not type, this is value. Okay, so the functions are broadly classified into four types based on the arguments and the return value. One is that function with arguments and with return value, with arguments and without return value, function without arguments and with return value, and function without arguments and without return value. So these are the four categories. Let me discuss each one in detail with an example. Now let me write a program to find the sum of two numbers using these four categories. Okay, first let me write the first category, a function with arguments and with return value. Okay, so I will include the stdio.h, which is a standard input output header file. Then I need to declare the function. In the declaration, you should specify the arguments or parameters, and you should have a return value. So meaning is that you should have a return type. So let's take that you want to return an integer value. So I am specifying the return type as int, and I want to perform the sum. So I am using a name of the function called sum and with arguments. So what are the arguments? I will take two parameters, so I am specifying them. Okay, so the function declaration consists of the return type such as int, name of the function, and how many parameters or arguments and what are the data type we have specified. Okay, now let me write the main function, and let me take the two variables of integer, and I will ask the user to enter the values of a and b, enter a and b values. Okay, and then whatever the values the user has entered, I need to read them using the scanf function, specifying the format specifier as %d because they are integer constants. Okay, ampersand a and ampersand b. Now I need to call the function. Okay, so I will take int result is equal to res is equal to sum of a comma b. So these values of a and b, I am passing it as a parameters to this function called sum. Okay, once they return the value, I need to display them. So printf the sum is %d res, and I'm closing the get ch, and I'm closing the main function. Now let me write the function definition of the function called sum. Okay, let me write here, or let me use the space here. So the function definition is you should specify the return type. The return type should be same. Here also int, here also int. And the name of the function also should be same as sum. And you need to specify the data type and also the parameter variable and data type and the variable. Okay. And then you have to take some variable called int c is equal to x plus y. Okay, return c. Is it clear? That's a simple one. Okay, I hope you have understood. You have the function declaration of the function prototype, function calling, and the function definition, and this is the function body. Okay, now the a and b are the actual parameters, x and y are the formal parameters. So how it will work? Okay, in the main function you have declared two variables a and b, and you are asking the user to enter those values. Suppose let's take that user has entered the value 2 and 3. The 2 and 3 will be passed from the main function to the function called sum. So you are calling a function called sum with inputs as 2 comma 3. So with parameters 2 and 3. So these 2 and 3 are the actual parameters. Now once the calling function has came, then it will go to the called function or the function definition. What is the function here? Sum. Okay, so it will go here and you have int x and int y. This x and y are the local variables for this function called sum. So the value 2 will be assigned to the variable x, value 3 will be assigned to the variable y. Then you are creating a variable called int c. Again it is a local variable. Okay, so c is equal to x plus y. So 2 plus 3 value 5 will come. That value you are returning. Once this return statement is completed, again the function will come back to the here. Okay, the control will come back to here. So int result is equal to this function has returned a value called 5. So that value 5 will be assigned to the variable called res. Okay, now res contains of value 5. That value you are trying to print. So this program is doing the sum of two numbers using the function called sum. Okay, which is a user defined function. Now in the last video I forgot to discuss the concept called reusability. Reusability means suppose if you want to compute the sum of 30 comma 40, then again you no need to write these statements. You can simply call int res is equal to sum of 20 comma 30. So if you want to compute any of the two number sum, then you can pass it as a parameters to this function called sum. So this is the reusability. Is it clear? If you want to compute the sum of minus 2 and minus 3, pass the values minus 2 and minus 3. Or again you can call another function called sum with the value minus 2 and minus 3. Is it clear? Are you able to understand it or not? So that concept we'll call it as reusability. So we are done with the functions with arguments and with return value. Now I want to discuss with arguments and without return value. Okay, is it clear? Let me erase this one. The same program I will modify such a way that the function with arguments and without return value. Now listen carefully. You need to specify the return type in the function declaration, but what is the return value? There should be no return value. So then you need to use the keyword called void. Okay, so the meaning is that the function does not return any value, but there should be an arguments or the parameter. So I have the arguments. So arguments will act as an input and the return value will act as an output. Okay, now int a comma b, enter a and b values. Now this function will not return any value to you. Yeah, this function is not returning any value. So you should not print the result here. Okay, you just call this function sum of a comma b. Let me modify it. Sum of a comma b. You are just calling the function and you are writing a get ch and you are closing the main function. Now here itself you need to print the value because you are not returning any output from this function to this main function. Okay, so here itself you will compute the sum and then you will print the sum. Okay, here what you need to write, you need to write the statement called void or the keyword, because the return type in the function declaration and function definition should be same and the name everything should be same. So printf the sum is %d(c). That's all. Are you able to understand? Only with this modification, the same program we have converted into functions with arguments and without return value. Let me explain with a small example. Okay, let me take the a value as some 10 and b value as some 30. Okay, that values you are passing. Okay, so it will be calling the function called sum with values 10 and 30. So the control will come back to here. Okay, so now x value will be 30 and y value will be, x value will be 10 and y value will be 30. Okay, so int c is equal to x plus y, 10 plus 30. The c will get a value called 40. That value I am printing. Are you able to understand it or not? So this program will print the sum of two numbers using the concept called function with arguments and without return value. So this is also done. Now let me discuss the third category, without arguments and with return value. Okay. Okay, so the function without arguments and with return value. Without arguments, so here you should not pass any arguments. Okay, then the return type should be there here. So I want to return an integer value, so I'm writing the return type as int, and as there is no arguments, you can leave it empty or you can write void here. There is no problem. You can leave it as a empty here. There are no parameters. You can specify the empty one here, or you can write a keyword called void. Both are valid. You can write like this or you can write like this also, in sum like this. Both are same. Okay, is it clear? The function does not take any argument. So here you no need to take the values of a and b from the user and pass it as a parameters to this function called sum. Okay, so here what you will do is that the function without argument, so you will just directly call the function called sum. Okay, and it will return some value. So you have to write some, let me write it here properly. Let's take that int c is equal to sum, and then whatever the value they will return, I will write the printf statement. The sum is, okay, %d(c). I need to write get ch and close the main function. Now the function definition will come into the picture. The function definition will consist of return type as int and name of the function as sum, and it does not have any arguments or the parameters, so it will be empty. Okay, open the curly braces. Now you declare two variables a comma b. Okay, now you ask the user to enter the a and b values. Enter the a and b values \n, and then you can scan them. Scan of %d ampersand a comma ampersand b. Okay, continuity let me write here. Okay, now int res is equal to result is equal to, I want to perform the sum, so a plus b, return res. Okay, now let me see how the program will work. Okay, there is a function declaration. Now it will enter the main function. Int c is equal to sum. So there is a function declaration consists of saying that there is a function called sum. So you will search the function definition and you will go to the function definition section. Okay, now inside the function you need to execute these statements. Okay, int a comma b. So you are declaring two variables called a and b. Okay, and you are asking the user to enter those values, and whatever the values you are entering you are storing here. Let's take the 20 and 30. Okay, and then you are performing a statement called int res is equal to a plus b. So then 20 plus 30, it will be 50, and the result will be assigned with a constant called 50. Okay, now return result. You are returning a value called 50. Okay, is it clear? That value 50 will be stored in the variable called c. So now c is assigned with a constant called 50. Are you able to understand? Now you are printing that one. Print of percentage d c. So this will print the output as 50. So I hope you have understood the same program we are writing with the concept called without arguments and with return value. Now let me discuss the next category of the function without arguments, the function without arguments and without return value. So let me do the small modifications to come to the category called functions without arguments. Without arguments means you have to specify the data type as void and the name of the function will be sum. Okay, and without return value. Okay, return value is not there, so void, and here also you can specify void because you are not taking any arguments. So without arguments is void, without return value is void here. Okay, so now let me discuss the things. Here you are not taking the input and you are not returning any value. So what are the things you need to do is that you just need to call this function. Okay, you need to call the function called sum and you need to write the statement called getch and close the main function. Then here also you need to specify it as keyword as void. Okay, void sum. You are taking int a comma b, a values everything is same. Now instead of returning the result, here itself you print the value. So here you can write the statement as printf the sum is percentage d res. That's all. So the same program we have modified with the category called function without arguments and without return value. So without return type, so we have specified the keyword called void in the return type and the name of the function is sum. As there is no arguments, you can make it empty or you can write the keyword called void. Now the main function will come into the picture, and then inside the main function you have a user defined function calling called sum. So the control will go to this function called sum. Is it clear? Now int a comma b. Okay, you are declaring two variables and you are entering some values. So let's take that user has entered 20 and 30. Then you are computing the result. Result is equal to a plus b, which is 20 plus 30. The result will be assigned with a value called 50. That value I am printing. Okay, so I hope you have understood the same program I have modified into these four categories. If you still have any doubts related to this concept, feel free to ask me in the comment section. I will try to clear your doubts as early as possible. Thank you for watching the complete video. Have a nice day.